There's never a one.
Hey, Jimmy.
How you doing, Dale?
We're back. Two guys, one coup after a short weeks off due to all of our, like we'd mentioned, book signings and appearances. You may have seen us on Entertainment Tonight. I don't know.
Thanks for coming out and all that and all
supporting.
All of our,
thank you. We appreciate
they invited us on.
We appreciate that.
They invited us on The View. But
they did.
Protest for hippos. We decided not to go. We don't want to.
I didn't feel like catching. I didn't want to catch the vid from those beasts.
Yeah. It's really an insult to hippos. So we got to, but
you got to be careful. Got to be careful. That's exactly. Well, anyways, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Jim. It's good to see you. We have literally not spoken very much in the last week. Just things going on in life in general. I don't mind telling you, I got the vid. Yeah. Okay, it's cool. I got it. And getting through it. And so if I cough, hack, I'll pass out or something in the middle of the show, Jim will carry on for me, because he's the ultimate professional that he is.
Yeah, I'll call 911. I'll call 911. I'll call 911 is after the show. We got to finish the show. Do you know, show must go on, isn't it? It's showbiz. That's right.
That's showbiz. That's right. Do you even know my address if you called 911? You don't.
No. I'll just tell them somewhere in Florida. Panhandle of Florida.
You're a hell of a friend.
Do you know my address?
I can tell you.
Do you know my address?
It's if I said like something like BF Indiana, they'd probably go right to your home or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I think, we know where that's at. We know exactly where it's at. Anyway, so welcome back. Episode, what is it, 7?
I think it's 7
episodes now.
I think it's 7.
It's 7, yeah. We're well on our way to the 100 episode mark.
Yeah.
The corner.
We'll have a celebration. It'll be.
We will have a celebration, maybe a giveaway.
Yeah, we might even celebrate 10. Who knows? That's just
if we make it to 10, we'll probably celebrate.
It's the kind of guys we are.
Yep, exactly. Well, a ton has happened in the last couple of weeks. I mean, a ton.
It has.
It's so much so that literally we could do a daily show and cover it all. Between sports and politics and entertainment and the goofiness of the world in general. There sure is a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. Today, I think we're going to review a lot's going to have to do because of the day itself is our fearless leader, Mr. Joe Biden, who celebrates 1 year in office today. It's 1 year today.
Boy, has it been.
And so we're going to kind of review the year, some by the numbers, some by the promises. And Jim, I think you're going to review that wonderful press conference that he had yesterday, which was the second press conference, first press conference since March of 2021. Solo press conference.
Yeah, I know. They did that whole statistic thing about who did what. But more from that press conference, I'm more because, whoever saw it, I mean, it's just whatever. But it's the funny thing is I've got the reaction between what people would consider conservative news network and a not conservative. It's hilarious. It is just, oh God. It
is. I saw some of the either comments and or tweets from some of our favorite people, Joy Reid being one, who is losing her show, by the way, on MSNBC. What a shame. She's a race baiting bitch. I don't mind saying it. She's terrible. But I saw some of her comments and just tremendous, just class act people. So we got that to go over. We're going to go over some sports because Jim has to go over sports this week.
Yep.
Thanks to his Bengals winning a playoff game for the first time in the texting era since 1991. So congratulations. Great game. Marred by controversy, of course.
If you
why would
there's no question there was, but I like to say I never blame a game on officiating. I don't like to do that. I just that's not who I am. No. But I will say this: there were some really bad calls in that game, both ways.
Yeah.
Yes, you got the one call but again, the whole point of the matter is if that whistle. Okay, let's say the whistle did blow and the officials did stop it. Would that have been fair to the Bengals? So you look at it from this standpoint because he did not go out of bounds. And that's the whole reason the official blew the whistles, because he thought he went out of bounds. So that would not have –
Would it have been – no, but there's a rule in place for that, and that is the play is dead and you replay it.
So Bengal fans would have been mad. I mean, either way, that rule is going to be changed. Okay, either way. But
and the good news, though, is now we get to hear the Raiders bitch about this for 20 years more since if anybody knows anything about the tuck rule and the game against the Patriots with Brady, where he fumbled the ball, but they said it was a forward, or he was trying to tuck the ball. So that happened to the Raiders, and now this happens to the Raiders.
You remember.
I don't feel bad for the Raiders. I'm not a big Raider fan.
But look, there was that call at where the car head went back, and so they threw a flag for the Bengal player didn't even touch him. He kind of brushed by his front shoulder, and Carr went back with his head, so the reaction was there. So I mean, there was bad calls all over the place there, and that call there affected the drive. The Raiders probably would have had to punt, but no, they got automatic first down. True. So
that's true.
I just thought the officiating in every sport over the last year has been bad. But it's been bad both ways. It's not been. I mean, do
you think it's bad? And I guess we're kind of going right into sports. But do you think it's bad because of instant replay? Has instant replay made officiating lazy?
I think so.
And and unaccountable almost at this point, because we just replay it. Of course, that was not a replayable.
No, it will be next year.
It will, because sound doesn't. It didn't matter, right? The sound wasn't the replayable part. But clearly you did hear the whistle. You heard it live. And then you kind of saw the defenders slow down and then bingo. Now, am I disappointed? No, I'm rooting for the Bengals. I'd like to see the Bengals go all the way. So that does not disappoint me whatsoever. Yeah. It's just a controversial call, which is happening more and more, as you had mentioned, in every sport. In every game,
but
because of, I think it's a replay.
There's some calls. Look, the Bengals had been snake bitten with calls all season that you could have questioned. This happened, that happened.
Sure,
that could have been the result of them being 12-5 instead of 10-7. So, it is what it is. You're dealing with humans, and I'll venture to. And what really makes me mad about that play, and I don't want to. I know we've got people out there. I could talk about the Bengals all day, but not everybody wants to.
Yes.
But the one thing that I will say, he was looking down. He was literally looking down, not at Burrow when he was throwing the ball. And it's like, so how did okay, you stepped out of bounds, but he didn't see the ball leave Burrow's hand. So
True.
The Raiders still had an entire second half to play. They still could have made up from that. And because who would have thought, because even if they would have redone it, because that was the rule, Bengals could have scored again. So, we'll just never know.
Agreed. And it would have been, at the minimum a field goal, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So, but most likely they would have scored. I mean, you never know. But the whole point is that officiating is terrible in every sport. Yeah. And it's the flag throwing is ridiculous at this point. Every play. I don't know if you watched the Rams.
Yes.
Why can't I think of who the Rams?
Cardinals.
Dang it! That's right. Teeny weeny little Kyler Murray. That's right. If you watch that, it was a flag every other play. It was ridiculous. And so I thought the games were overall crappy.
There's only two close games.
Bengals, Raiders. And then the
Cowboys and Niners.
Couldn't have happened to a better team.
I don't like Jerry Jones, but I don't mind the Cowboys. And I
like Jerry Jones,
one of our listeners, Chris, he is a huge Dallas fan, and so I was texting him, and they have. I don't understand it. They always, this year they had probably one of the best rosters going into the season. I mean, if you look at
offensively,
defensively too. I mean, they really came back.
Well, they did. Mika Parsons and all that.
And they got Diggs in the secondary. Those guys. I mean, they're solid. They were. But what happened? I mean, I don't know. I don't watch them all the time. I don't follow them all the time. But it's because I can imagine a Cowboys fan's frustration because theoretically speaking, I don't know of any other team in the NFL that had the roster that they have. Now, maybe it's Dak Prescott. I don't know. I don't know. But then that kind of puts Cleveland into that. Do they want to sign Baker Mayfield? Because is Dak not that guy? Is he a guy that's going to look great statistically? Because he's going to have to throw at the end or whatever. I don't know. I don't know, but it's just I don't know with that receiving core for them to only get 17 points.
No excuse. I mean, San Francisco's defense was smothering them. They were. Yeah. But when Bosa went down, there should have been some opportunity there.
Yeah. Well,
and there really wasn't. Yeah. So,
but the other games were stinkers.
It's amazing.
The team that surprised me the most. In all honesty, is that was probably the least prepared Bill Belichick team that I remember.
I know.
Well, maybe since he's been with Browns. I mean, no offense, but it was. But that was terrible. They were destroyed and as much as Mac Jones, he's going to have to throw the ball down the field. If he's not going to be the quarterback everyone thought maybe he was at the beginning because he was doing stuff, but he was dinking and dunking, and then defenses started coming in.
They started adjusting to that. Yeah, it was easy for them to adjust to that.
But that game surprised me.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Well, and then it also solidified something else for me, and it solidified the fact that Josh Allen, who was drafted the same year Baker Mayfield, is far better. Now, I'm not just saying team coach-wise, he's not injured. I'm talking about, and not even his running ability, which is pretty impressive, honestly, for his size. I mean, he's a big dude. But his pass accuracy is unbelievable.
You remember coming into his career, he was, of all the quarterbacks, he was always the lowest percentage.
Yeah, at Sam Darnold.
And all of these expert quarterback people out there are saying, you can't teach that. You can't teach accuracy. Well, guess what?
Yep.
Somebody taught him accuracy.
Somebody taught him accuracy because, damn, he is
and
fire,
and I'll take, because I'll be honest with you, and it was funny because that draft that year he was coming out, I told my son, I said, and he can vouch for it if you want to ask him. But when we were talking about quarterbacks, I said, look, I think Josh Allen, I would not mind. We shouldn't have taken him early, but I wouldn't have minded if we grabbed a hold of him because I think he's going to be the best quarterback out of that class. Just with the arm. I mean, I watched him with Wyoming a couple times, and I mean, he's on the run and the ball goes 70 yards in the air. I mean, it's
I know.
That can be taught accuracy. In my opinion, I don't know. I'm not an NFL quarterback. I have no idea, but that guy has something else. And then, of course, his ability to run makes him that much better.
It's a bonus. The ability to run is a bonus there, but his arm strength, his technique, his footwork in the pocket. The guy has, they always talk about it. He's got all the tangibles, and I hate those intangibles. But he does, and it just solidified the fact that Baker Mayfield's never going to be that.
Yeah,
he just isn't. He just doesn't have that talent skill to be that. And so, what happens on that end of it? It's the only Browns thing I'm really saying. He had surgery on his torn labrum, which is on the non-throwing arm. So, whatever, that'll heal up. And I'm not saying that's an easy injury, even if it's on your non-throwing arm, to overcome. Just before surgery.
Something else too that I was watching that I kind of made myself laugh a little bit. For everybody out there that hates the fact that the Bengals are where they're at and doing what they're doing, they're $57 million under the salary cap.
Oh, I know.
And when
I know.
And when they release Trey Wayans after next year, there'll be more than $60 million under their salary cap. So I think the offensive line and the defensive backfield positions will be fixed.
I think so.
So they won their playoff game. Tennessee keeps every game close because they're not that team that's going to get out there and destroy you.
Yeah.
So, but I still think Tennessee. Whether Henry comes back or not, personally, I think if
they say he is.
Personally, I think if Henry comes back, that team has been playing without him for so long. How is that going to mesh? I mean, you got to look at that. But I think the best game of the weekend, and I think because I think the two best teams in the AFC are playing in Kansas City.
Buffalo, Kansas City.
I think those are the two best teams in the AFC, and I think the winner of the AFC is coming out of there. This is
out of one of those.
Yeah. And the AFC or the NFC, I think the Rams are going to Green Bay, and Green Bay is not going to be 60 and sunny. So,
so you're taking the Rams to beat the Buccaneers.
Oh, sorry, Rams are at Buccaneers. That's right. So,
okay.
Yeah, the Niners team, you just never want to bet against them.
Yeah, but I thought they matched up very well with Dallas to begin with. I don't think they match up very well with Green Bay. And so I think Green Bay handles that. And Bosa's out. So that's even bigger for him. I'm not saying he's the end all be all for him, but that's an incredibly passionate, great player on the defensive side of the ball for San Francisco that they will not have. So I see Green Bay winning that. I see Tampa finding a way to beat the Rams.
It depends which.
Why? Yeah, because I didn't mean, but because I'm never going to go Matt Stafford over Tom Brady. All right, and Matt Stafford's great. I think he's great. He's really an amazing person and a great talent and been through a lot in his career, that's for sure. But Matt Stafford did just win his first playoff game in his career. So I can't see him beating Tampa. I
can't either. However, if that defense shows up next week like they did, I mean, Von Miller acted like he was young again.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So
I know.
If that defense comes back and can play, I still think Tampa Bay is going to win, but I think it's going to be interesting.
I think Tampa's more disciplined.
Yeah. Well, and you've got the GOAT. I mean, as I know I have friends out there, they hate to hear that. He is. I'm sorry.
He's the GOAT. He is absolutely the GOAT when it comes to NFL quarterbacks. So no doubt about it. So I think that's taken care of. I think Tampa then goes to Green Bay, and I really want to see that game. I do. I'm going to see Rodgers against Brady. I want to see that game. And I want to see Tampa play in the frozen tundra because I can't imagine it's going to be warm up there. So
if that happens, in all honesty, and again, you get home field advantage because of what you do. I mean, they won and they did everything. But to make it competitive, I most certainly would like to see it. I don't know, mid-30s, because I want it to be a competitive game. I want it to be. I honestly think, as much as I hate to say it, I think Tennessee will host Kansas City because Kansas City at home is just, I don't know.
I know. They really, they manhandled the Steelers. Thank God.
But I still think whoever wins between those two teams, Buffalo and Kansas City, I do think will go into Tennessee if they have to and win. And if Cincinnati can find a way to win that, then of course the Bengals have to go to whoever. So those teams are cheering for Cincinnati.
Well, and good news for you, the Bengals played better on the road than they did
absolutely.
At home this year.
They have. And
so you never know.
And again, the only thing that worries me coming into the game is we got Hendrickson back, so he's off concussion protocol, so that's good. We have lost Ogunjobi in our backup defensive tackle.
You lost Ogunjobi?
He went out last week, foot. So
I didn't know that.
That was a bad loss because that guy, man, he just came in and did a great job. So, when your defensive front especially guys in the middle, are out against Tennessee, that creates an issue because that's where they like to run. So
that's true.
The linebackers will have to step up, but we got past that 30-year drought thing because I got sick and tired of hearing about it. So we move on. We get to this, and if we win, great. If we don't, then exciting things for years to come.
You know what I meant to look up? You know what I actually meant to look up was the AFC North's playoff record in the first round of the playoffs, say over the last 20 years.
Well,
I really want to see what that looks like.
I think it'd be pretty good.
I think it's damn good. I can't remember an AFC. Well, I mean, you take a look at this year. So Pittsburgh lost, but Cincinnati won. Mm-hmm. Last year, Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. So AFC North. And as far back as you go, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. Only you and I have enjoyed the last 2 years.
Exactly. We don't talk about the previous.
Before Baltimore, Pittsburgh. So, but I can imagine their record is pretty damn good in the first round. I really wanted to look that up, and I didn't. Meant to, but did not. But anyways, and also while we were gone, so that's kind of NFL news. Yep. Oh, I guess we can go over the AFC picks then. So you already have. I think Cincinnati takes care of Tennessee.
Oh,
I honestly do. I also think Buffalo takes care of Kansas
Cincinnati,
City.
Buffalo, interesting.
Yeah, and then Cincinnati goes to Buffalo, dude.
Yeah, they'll have to go to Buffalo.
Yeah, they have to go to Buffalo. I do. That's what I'm calling.
Man, I hope so.
It's probably more of than realistic.
See, that would have been I tell you what.
That's the game I want to
see. I tell you what. That's inevitably. And again, I'm not insulting Tennessee at all because the way that team was able to win without their stud, they did the job. But that I would prefer to go there over
of course,
going to Kansas City. So,
I agree. I agree. So that's kind of the NFL news. Also, while we were away, and this is old news now, but Georgia beat Alabama.
Yep.
So, I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. And so, of course, I didn't see – well, we talked about it. Did we have a show after Georgia beat Alabama?
I don't think so.
We did not, did we?
No.
Anyways, Jamison Williams going down? I don't think we did we? Yeah, we didn't. So that clearly hurt Alabama. Let's just be honest. That was changed the whole dynamic of their offense, and it showed to me the lack of depth. Maybe at receiver.
I don't know if it's depth. And the reason you kind of have to go into that is Georgia's defense was on fire. I mean, they were spot on during that game.
Well, agreed. I agree.
And do you remember the drive? And everybody kept saying Georgia's getting tired because Alabama was just pounding it. And they were driving. Yep. I mean, literally driving. And I thought, well, this is the game-ending play. Well, it ended up being the game-ending play, but the other way, because Georgia's defense just all of a sudden they had the sack, they came in, they just put that all together, and I don't think Alabama kicked the field goal, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
But that right there, that changed the way that team was. That totally took the sideline that was going, oh God, here we go again, and but they did their will, and if there was ever going to be a team. I think beat Alabama, a Kirby Smart coach team, being that's probably Saban's favorite assistant coach when he was there. That was a good thing, but it was a great game. Great game, fun to watch.
Game. Absolutely great game, fun to watch. Exactly, shocking. Probably. I wouldn't say shocking because I mean there was the opportunity and the potential. Georgia was good enough, obviously. I still think Williams doesn't go down. I think that's a totally different game.
It changes it. Yep.
It changes it. So. But congratulations to Georgia.
Absolutely.
I'm glad it happened.
Absolutely.
So since 1980, first one since 1980. Since Herschel Walker.
Long time. Long time.
Who was running for Congress, Herschel Walker. So
vote for Herschel Walker.
But anyways, vote for Herschel Walker. Yeah, support him. A Trumper. So that's good news. Anyways,
no,
you got anything else in sports?
There is no way he can be a Trump supporter.
I understand.
Stop
I know. Shocking. And yes, of course. How can an African American support Trump?
That's just terrible. Man.
Impossible, right? Yeah, that's right. He ain't black.
That's right.
As Joe Biden
that's
would
right.
say. But speaking of Joe Biden, you want to go into Joe Biden now, or do you want to just kind of – you got anything else in sports you want to
I do, but it's a story in itself. So,
Oh, interesting. A little bit of a preview, kind of a teaser in a way. Stay tuned is what you're
I think we talk about Biden because you want to talk about his first year, and then we can lead into the press conference.
Because we celebrate, and I mean this, I celebrate the fact that 25% of this bullshit administration is done as of today. 25% of it is gone. What a 25% it's been. What a year it's been for Joe Biden. Probably not going to come to a shock to anybody, but things haven't been well. So, I mean, newsflash, this just in.
Hey,
breaking news here on Two Guys
the
One Go.
Unemployment rate is low.
So let's just start there. I love the fact that they're claiming that the unemployment rate is like 4.9 or something. Is it because people went back to work who lost their jobs or got let go because of COVID, or could it have been that at all? I mean, what jobs did he create?
I don't think so.
Ask them, what jobs did Joe Biden create? I can't name any. Can you?
Nope. No.
What sector? What big? I know this. I know on the very first day of office, he fired 11,000 Keystone pipeline workers and promised them green jobs right away.
Those are
those
are booming. Yeah,
those are booming. Green jobs are, as we knew they would be, right? I mean, come on, let's face it. I mean, if I know I want to get in my vehicle and get on the super highways of this great, beautiful country of ours with a rubber band propeller on the back of it. Or the wind. I'm hoping the wind's going to blow my sail on the top of my new SUV around. Or I'm not going to run out of electricity in 13 miles, and be stuck on the side of the road. So, no green jobs. That's bullshit. It's not happening. What else has happened in the first year? Well, let's take a closer look. All right. We'll go, Jimmy, I just want to play a little kind of number association with you. I'll say a number. You tell me what it is. Okay, that's all. 33%. What is that number?
Probably his approval rating.
That is Joe Biden's current approval rating, according to the latest Quinnipiac poll, which is a very highly regarded poll that bases popularity of presidents constantly. They're doing that.
You're correct when it comes to Quinnipiac, because a lot of times these polls are. You look at the CNN polls and all that; they'll put them at 35, 40%, and we know 80% of that are Democrats. So he's still not popular with his own group. So anyway,
anyway, I know. But, so you say that, and just wait till you hear some of it and where it came from. But 33%. So that is his current job,
which is very good.
So. It's very good. So he has, so this was the Quinnipiac poll, as I said, a 17 percentage point drop since February of 2021. So within the first year, 17 points he's dropped. It's the lowest that I can't remember a lower one in my lifetime. Percent, popularity.
Yeah.
Or approval rating. I really can't. I can't remember it. But here, so really what's driving this is obviously the economy. It's the economy. It's what affects people every single day. It's what affects you and me. It's why we started this stupid thing, to talk about stuff like this. I mean this professional podcast. Did I say stupid thing? That must be the vid talking. Anyway, so 34%. Here's what still gets me on the economy. 34% approve of what Joe Biden is doing. 57% disapprove. All right. Now you do the math. None of this equals 100%
because there's that.
Because you got those people that you ask that question. And they're like, gee, I don't know.
I don't really have an opinion.
I don't have an opinion. Or they're just not aware. Do you approve of the economy or disapprove of the economy? Gee, I don't know. I mean, what a stupid answer that would be. But there's those people.
Wouldn't you like to walk up to those 34% and just shake the shit out of them and said, "What are you looking at?"
I just want to ask them how. What is it? What is it you've approved of on the economy? The pandemic. I hate even using that word, but, the plandemic, then, if you will. 39% approve of what Joe Biden is doing, 55% disapprove.
See, that number I'm surprised. I thought that would be higher, but
you thought it would be higher, right? I thought people are like, oh, okay, he's doing what can, I'll be honest with you. He's full of crap, Joe Biden.
Always
and I'll get
has
into this
been.
later, but it's always has been, and he's lied, and he's been caught in lies, and we all know that. But the fact that what's happening in the virus that I can blame on a president, I cannot. Okay. The response to it, I can. And how you move forward with getting messages out, I certainly can, blame that on a president of the United States. So getting the medicines out or getting the vaccines out, or at least telling you that message that, we should get vaccinated. But his message is completely different. First of all, if you can understand his message, it is basically mumbo jumbo, but it's get vaccinated. If you don't, you have no life and you will die. I mean, that's basically the message. The message from the White House is you're going to have a winter of death and illness if you don't get vaccinated. Yet everybody getting sick has been vaccinated that I know of. Everybody I know, including has been stupid jabbed. And
I've had the booster.
Now,
I've had the booster.
I mean, you've gone one step further, and you still got it,
yes, I did.
right? Now, I am not saying, because to me, it's like a flu one, right? I can get the flu shot, and I still could get the flu. I'm not expecting the vaccine to cure everything, make my hair regrow, I get 10 years younger, my wiener's 4 inches bigger. I don't expect any of that, okay? But I kind of expect some protection from it, right? I mean, I expect it to do what I think vaccines are intended to do. It's not. So it doesn't matter. It's not a vaccine. You can't tell me that people are getting the people that are unvaccinated are the ones causing the vaccinated to get ill, because then the vaccination doesn't work if the unvaccinated are infecting the vaccinated. Did any of that make sense? Because I sounded like Biden there for a minute. But that's what I believe. So God, I went off on a tangent. I swore I wasn't going to do this today.
It's easy to do.
I mean, it's easy to do. I was not going to go out because I really, really am celebrating the high numbers and the wonderful presidency that is the Joe Biden administration. Listen, foreign policy, 35% approve.
Was this before?
This
before or after?
Afghanistan?
Or before or after his comments on the Ukraine? And we'll get into that.
Okay, so we'll get into that, which was just last night. Mine goes up to last night. You take it from there after we're done, okay? But it is clearly after Afghanistan, and we all know what happened there.
Hey, he stands by his decision on Afghanistan.
I know he does. I know he does. Unbelievable. He stands by it, all right. He doesn't even remember what his decision was.
And I think it's been long enough that we can talk about what I had been talking to you about before. And it was proven by the CDC that all of those Afghanis that fell off the plane when the planes were leaving, those were COVID deaths.
Oh, I knew
it was caused by COVID.
It's poor.
Is it too soon?
Poor.
I'm sorry. It's probably too soon.
Not too. It's not too soon to talk about. I don't. Why am I laughing at Afghanis falling from planes? I mean, it's tragic.
I'm sorry.
That. This is what I do. I get sort of uncomfortable situations and I laugh. I'm terrible.
Maybe we're going to be somebody's Schumer of the week. You never know.
I probably got family members that say I'm a Schumer of the day every
just
day.
To give a little bit of a heads thing, my Schumer of the week said a hell of a lot worse than we just did, but go on.
Wow. Okay. Anyways, poor Afghani COVID. That's terrible. The count is so high. But anyways, 54% disapprove of foreign policy, 35 approve. Again, so here's another number for you too. When I say this, what do you associate with?
54% only disapprove of his foreign policy. There is no way.
There's no way. No way. But anyways, here's the next number for you. 7%. What's that?
Kamala Harris's.
No, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I didn't even get into her. I only did Biden.
Brain function.
7%, still too high. 7% is the annual inflation rate.
Oh my God.
7%. Now, what does that mean? Okay.
People know.
So
if you go to the store,
people know, right?
To the store,
if you go to the store, you know what inflation affects your everyday goods, the cost of it, even the availability of it at times, but the cost of it. So basically, for every dollar you spend, 7 cents of that is an increase. It's increased 7 cents. So that's stupid math, basic, easy math on that. But 7% is the inflation rate. When Biden took office just a year ago today, inflation rate was 1.4%. 1.4% compared to 7 1 year later.
So,
and he's doing well. He's doing well.
Difference and multiply it.
Yeah.
We're into a Carter generation, folks.
We're gonna get. If this keeps going, if this keeps Carter's sitting back, please God, please going, God, please God, please God, just let me live long enough to see this buffoon.
He's the only one
outperform.
He's the only one
outperform.
He's the only one happy right now.
And exactly. Anyways, why is so? So it says I'm reading some notes, Andrew, on why inflation is so important, but it affects the economy, consumer spending, business investments,
interest rates,
which is a big one. I mean, we're not talking just housing rates. We're talking about cars. We're talking about your credit card interest rate. We're talking about every interest rate that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, not to mention just everything, the goods and services that you get on a daily basis as well. 7% compared to 1.4. So this is interesting. What does 44% entail? What does that number mean to you?
That seems kind of high for whatever it is.
Doesn't it? So your president, Joe Biden, comes in with a 44% approval rating to a 55% disapproval rating, disapproval rating among registered voters. So this is a little different, but among registered voters on his economic performance. Now, wait, before you say anything else, 44% approve, 55 disapprove, registered voters on his economic performance based on a CNN poll.
That makes sense.
So there you have it. Even in the most liberal of networks, CNN, 44% of those viewers who were registered voters who participated in the poll still think he's lost his own party.
Yep.
I mean, he literally has lost his own party.
There's no defending it.
There's no defending it. Absolutely
but
no.
There is a network trying.
That there is. Is this network the same network where this poll came from?
Might be.
And who are hiring a staff of? Is it? They're hiring staff to counteract misinformation.
Yep.
Out there, which they're the leader in
my
misinformation.
favorite is the thing. A little bit what I'll talk about when I get into mine is they're fact checking.
Oh, okay. Yep. Loved their fact checking. Anyways, so just for some reference on that 44%, the average of all polls taken in December is similar with Biden at like minus 13%. So you got the 44 to 55, that's a minus 11%. Most of the polling is right around minus 13, not just CNN, on the economy itself. But to kind of put this in perspective, the average for a president at this time in his presidency, I guess you could say, so the 1 year in, is a plus 5 percentage point approval rating on the economy. He's minus 11. So the average of all presidents is plus 5. He's minus 11.
And it's bullshit on it's
bullshit. I mean, that's a 16-point swing.
than what it is.
It's worse. So these numbers are kind of mathy and involved, but I mean, they're just, and whatever. They're not intense, but they're just interesting. Now, last but not least, 70%. Won't even make a guess. It's the percentage of Americans saying Biden's policies have worsened the economy or had no effect. So it's not 70%. Yeah. I said they've worsened or had no effect. Now, it doesn't break it down, but we can kind of gather that 55% are saying that it's worse. So there's about 15 out there that say no effect at all. I don't know who those people are. If they don't drive, if they don't shop, if they don't breathe, if they don't live. But that's crazy. Now, what's attributed to a lot of this is just the failed presidency after a year. Supply chain backlogs, which we still have. You can see it on the shelves. Rising gas prices, still higher than they were. They've come down a little, but higher than they were. Increased housing costs. You know this. And it's ridiculous, the costs out there. And, of course, the high inflation rate attributed to that as well, which is what we talked about. And that's really the killer to me. The most important is the inflation rate itself. That's the daily thing that affects us everywhere is the inflation. So you can't go out without seeing inflation now. Yeah. It's really noticeable.
You know who the people that aren't affected by what's going on right now? And I hope I don't get berated for this. The people that aren't feeling it right now are the wealthy.
Yeah.
And
that's true. Well, that's true. I mean, which is fine. But
and the poor.
Yeah.
Because they're
not buying.
No, the poor's getting food stamps. Or they're getting welfare. They're not seeing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, they may go.
But wait a second. Let me ask you a question. On food stamps. I don't know this answer. Their food stamps aren't buying as much food as it used to, unless they've increased the amount.
Somebody might have, if they're out there listening, somebody might be able to. But I think the food stamps is based. I think it goes up and down based on the inflation and costs and everything else.
It does?
I think. I don't know.
Yet Social Security.
It only makes sense. It only makes sense of that. But if you look at everybody on welfare, everybody on, and again, I'm not. Well, some of the people on welfare that don't want to work, it infuriates me. But anyway, but those are the ones that aren't being affected. It's the
I agree.
Some of the lower middle class, some of the lower income, middle class,
upper middle class.
They're the ones suffering. It's that group of people that's suffering because the wealthy is the wealthy,
and they always do.
Okay.
And they always do.
Yeah, and because there was actually during the election, and I wish I could remember his name, so I apologize. But when I was listening to Glenn Beck, there was a guy that made the comment that it might be about time that when we talk about tax increases, that we increase everyone's taxes. Because it's always their certain group that they don't get taxed. And I'm going to be honest with everybody out there, and I just and again, we're getting off on a tangent, but we're coming on tax time. And everybody that sits there and say, well, I pay tax. I want certain people out there, when you get this nice big check back from the government because of you get children, you get benefits from that, all that stuff, take what you get back. Look what you paid in, and you're going to find out in the end you never paid taxes. That happens more than it doesn't. Just because they take it out of your check during the year doesn't mean anything when you get it back. But anyway, that I digress because that's just what happens. Yeah. But
no, that's true.
But that's why a lot of people don't notice this, and it's just that. And so, let's face it, we talked about liberals; they're ignorant. So some people may not be noticing this. And
you yourself being what I would consider high upper middle class to lower rich are probably not experiencing any of this. Am I right?
You need to help me with that one because I don't quite. I'm being affected just like everybody else. All right.
That's what a rich guy would say.
Yeah.
That's what a rich guy would say.
The $1 million mansion I just purchased for straight cash. Look, I mean, anybody can do that.
Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. Well, I'm just checking to make sure.
You haven't got the advertiser money yet?
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Is it addressed to BF Indiana? Because that's apparently where the checks are. It was
addressed to two guys. Huh?
Was it? Yeah.
Maybe I didn't get. You know what? I think I owe you some money.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I can't wait. Finally. Yeah, you probably signed it one guy, and they're like, wait a second. You know? Anyways, that's kind of the numbers I had for Biden. I do have, just really briefly, I want to go over a couple broken promises that Biden made.
Song.
Survivor. I don't even know who's.
It's a good song.
Broken Promise.
Yeah,
Survivor, the
Broken
band.
Promises.
Is that?
It's not a very.
What other song do they have?
Really? The Tiger Guys. Yeah.
They had another song?
They had lots of them. Yeah.
No, they just had no one. Okay.
This first night. Anyway.
I don't recognize any of that. And
I like
I'm glad.
Survivor.
Broken Promise number one, what I like to call now the Dr. Fauci Wuhan lab China virus.
That's not Broken Promise. Nope.
Well, Biden vowed to shut it down. We all remember, right? Shut it down. China. He vowed to shut it down. Now, when anybody with a half a brain listened to him say that, did you think, yeah, he's going to shut down the virus? This guy can shut down the virus.
It's always going to be.
It's a virus. You know, what's he going to do to shut down the virus? Now, what could he have done to maybe not be such a dick before the virus and tell us all about how if Trump can't handle this correctly, he should retire? Yet more people have died this year because of coronavirus, China virus, Fauci virus, than it did in the Trump era. So should he, Biden, step away like he asked Trump to do? Well,
let's
he doesn't remember. He asked Trump
first of all, before that happens, let's make sure Kamala and Pelosi. And how far do we have to go down? They have to leave too. Okay.
Yeah, I think they got to go pretty far down. I know. Listen, this year midterm elections, I literally cannot wait. I'm chomping at the bit. 2 more Democrats decided to bail this week. Brings up, I think, 28 now in the House.
If there's 2 more, it'd be 28.
Yeah, 28 in the House are retiring. Man, I'm telling you, there's writings on the wall. Anyways, despite promising the good old Uncle Joe, the most pro-union president of our lifetime, fires 11,000 union pipeline workers. Right away, day one, did that, broken promise. Totally told us before the election how he was not for vaccine mandates. We now know he is 100% for vaccine mandates.
Yeah.
Part of his platform is mandating the vaccine. Thank God for some ballsy senators that decided to do many things, which we can get into later if you want. I don't know if that's going to be part of what you're going to talk about, but the Build Back Better is dead. The voting rights, bill dead.
Can you imagine a Democrat changing the voting rights? Holy shit.
Oh my God. They wanted full control over the voting rights. I don't think people understand how important that was and how close to defeat that wasn't, because it only took the 2 senators. And thank God and it's Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema of Arizona, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who had the balls and the guts to stay with their convictions and vote against that. And Republicans, of course, voted party line. Democrats voted party line, with the exception of these 2, which is what put the whole thing to bed, including what was the filibuster. Now, I'm pretty sure you know what the filibuster is, right? For those who don't, it's a way for the minority in the Senate to have a voice. So basically, one of the parties says, okay, we're bringing this bill forward, much like the voting bill and, Build Back Better and all that. And we, as a minority, we can go and what's called filibuster. We can go up to the podium. We can give a speech. We could sit there for 5 days and give that speech. Is it annoying? Mm-hmm. Yes. Is it necessary? Yes. Because it stops the majority, the minor majority, from having full control. Right now, it takes 60 senators to pass a bill. What the Democrats were trying to do, conveniently, because now they're at 50 senators, just took the 50 senators, and then the tiebreaker goes to the vice president, who is Democrat. They wanted to change all that. Never been done before that way, but they want to change it now. As if the shoe's never going to be on the other foot here, right? Which clearly is going to happen, I think, this November. And then they would have been eating their words. But, and to think about it, in 2005, Chuck Schumer actually gave a speech on the Senate floor saying how the filibuster was so vital to the democracy of our nation. It would be a detriment to remove it, giving power strictly to a small majority party. And yet he's the one championing the one now. So, like, we can't go back and see his words, right? Anyways, that has failed thanks to Manchin and Sinema as well. The filibuster is important. Look it up if you need to. It's absolutely an essential part of conducting business in the Senate, for sure. I'm probably not telling anybody any revelations on any of this. If there's some
ignorant Democrat, liberal out there, that it's something new to them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it was a voting rights bill. They wanted to extend voting hours and also add more ballot drop boxes. Thank God that failed as well. And that's part of the federalizing of the election.
How much do you think in that bill was also allowing the million-plus illegals that have come into this country, allowing them to vote?
You damn right it was. Yeah, that's their only voting base now. They're losing everything. Yep. It's their only voting base. So, but anyways, that's kind of what I had on Joe Biden's first year. There's so much more to talk about, and I do have more here, but I think we should probably get to maybe your information if you are, not too busy looking
at my phone.
And, yeah. You clearly
my Pornhub popped up. I had to close it.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Sure it did.
Well, I wanted to talk about just a little bit about I did watch his whatever the hell that was yesterday.
His coming out party for the year, I guess, or something.
I went out and I looked at Fox News to see what their reply was, and they broke it down to each segment that they did. And of course, they had some Republican senators and congressmen weighing in. Okay. Or, Buck Sexton and Clay Travis, for those of you who don't know, they're the ones that took over the EIB side of Rush Limbaugh show. So they made their comments, and it's basically, he gets up there and he comes out and he talks about how he stands behind his Afghanistan thing. And apparently some networks forgot about what actually happened in this Afghanistan thing. Because then I looked at the negative going on about that, and then I go out to CNN. No reference of the failed Afghan. Nothing about it. And as a matter of fact, it's his positive speech about how he said he is going to be more. He's going to talk to more people. He's going to go out and speak to more people and everything else. And do you honestly think there is no way in hell they're going to let him do that? There's no way.
There's no way. They're trying to make him more sympathetic because they say that's his strong suit. He's empathetic to people, and people are like, "Oh, Uncle Joe. I mean, he understands us."
But the next one was
not happening.
Stand firm. If Putin goes into the Ukraine, we will do.
Oh God.
We will do all of these sanctions against them, economic sanctions. Yep. It's going to hurt Russia. But if he, I got to say it straight face. But if he goes in a little, and I kid you not, folks. This is what he said.
He goes in a little.
He goes in a little.
That sounds like your first date. If I go in a little,
it's like Bill Clinton. I didn't go in all the way.
Just a little.
So
just a little.
Okay, so I go out to CNN. No discussion. No, nothing. They're just talking about his foreign policy and how he has to, as America, he has to get stronger with his foreign policy. But if China just goes into Taiwan a little bit, we're gonna be okay. Putin's probably sitting back going, "This country's stupid. How did this guy get?"
This is the most ridiculous. And that's it. You know what also impressed me? It's funny. If we go in just a little, I'm going to try that. Hey, honey. If I go in just a little.
Oh, my God.
Have
you ever did that where when you're in elementary school and you go, you can't cross that line, and everyone putting their little toe over the line? That's kind of what I'm getting the vibe from here.
That's exactly right. I agree.
It's like the blue line that Obama put down that kept coming back. Kept moving back.
Oh, my God. And in that speech, when he kept going on and on about Ukraine, because he did go on for it for a while, how much of that he was very concerned about that border, but not the southern border of our own.
They should let him in a little.
Just a little. I mean, this guy's a buffoon, and everybody can see it.
And they want him.
And it's in a war. He's going to have no choice because his popularity is zippo. He's got nothing going for him except, man, might as well start a war. Try to unify the country that way.
And they want him talking more.
They're going to put him out more.
I still see Weekend at Bernie all over again here, man.
This is insane. It's insane. Wow. What else happened in that speech?
Just how, he still wants to do the Build Back Better. He still wants to, he didn't consider it a loss. And then, of course, my favorite thing is that he's referring to all these Republicans that don't vote for him as what are we normally called if we don't agree with? Oh, racists.
Yeah, racist.
So
racist.
I just wonder if somebody mentioned to Tim Scott that he's a racist. I'm just curious on that.
Well, I know. And you mentioned Tim Scott a lot, and he's great. He is great. The Republican Party could use a little bit more.
But it's not because we don't elect them. It's because we got to have people like Tim Scott, Candace Owens, Ben Carson, Alan West, all these guys that realize, that party's more in line with the way I think than this party.
Exactly.
I mean, we just had.
True. It's the narrative. The narrative is
on Monday. We just had what? What national holiday we have?
Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Day.
And I contend to that. And I'm not going to do this where Martin Luther King would have been a Republican today. It's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, if you listen to what he said, listen to what he said. He does not want money handed over to them. He does not want jobs just given to them. Nope. They want an equal opportunity to succeed in this country.
That's what it was all about.
They have it.
Opportunity.
They have it. They just don't know it because they're being told they don't. And
being fed.
It's like
lie. The big lie.
Because I have read a lot of Martin Luther King. I actually, take past his marriage transgressions. Okay, fine. That was not good, especially from a pastor. But he admitted it. He knew that was what he had. But it's not. It's who he was. This guy made no money. He made no money on this. That wasn't what he wanted to do. So when people like Jesse Jackson came up to him and said, we need to make more money here. No, that's not what we're in this for. It's not in to make money. That's not what this is about. Right. This is about
Jesse
Jackson,
Al Sharpton,
and how much money have those two made since Martin Luther King died? So,
so much so that Sharpton still owes, I think, $400,000 in back taxes that he never paid. $400,000 in taxes.
So, all he's got to do is do the Black Lives Matter thing, where they didn't have to file their taxes as a not-for-profit. Whatever, hey, it's
exactly. Which I do have a slight follow-up on that, by the way, which is strictly that we talked about Pastor Corey Brooks, and his. So I started researching more.
Hope everybody did.
And yeah, I don't have a report for you today on it, but I do have. I can tell you it's legitimate, and this guy
isn't he remarkable?
Honestly, yeah, he's remarkable, and he actually replied to an email.
Awesome.
So I'm trying to get him onto
Are you kidding?
Little podcast. I'm trying
because he does a podcast. He does a podcast on there.
Yeah, he does a podcast. So I'm trying to get him on it. We'll see what happens. But he was very nice. Actually sent a little video too, which was super cool. But so I don't know how to put all that on here because I'm stupid.
Hey, we're moving on up.
Anyways, moving up. But he's an incredible. The message is incredible. The way his words resonate with me for some reason. I don't know what it is.
You know what's sad?
But yeah,
go into a high school today. All right, just go into high school today. What I presented to you about him when I introduced him over this Black Lives Matter. Go into a school and just don't say who it's from, and just read what he said.
Agreed.
How many of those students would sit there and say, "Was this a white man or a black man that said it?"
Yep,
and I would just love to see that because you and I aren't going to be able to go in and talk to them and get them to listen to us because we're the white privilege, right? Yep. We're this, we're that.
Yeah.
But they're not listening to him either. They want to listen to Booker. They want to listen to Sharpton.
Sharpton. Yeah,
Obama. They want to listen to those idiots that want them to stay where they're at because as long as they're where they're at, they are successful. They don't give a shit about all this stuff that Jesse Jackson has done for the African American community. He's got more African Americans in jobs of upper level. Those jobs of upper level went to his kids of his friends. And if you don't know that, go back and read the O'Reilly book way back when. And because he had that story that all of these jobs he got were for his friends or people who gave him money. It wasn't for the average person sitting down there. That's not. No, that's not what this is about.
It never is.
But Martin.
And it never is every 2 years. It never is every 4 years.
But Martin Luther King wanted everyone to have an opportunity. And that's anyway, it's just.
Well, to be honest with you, Pastor Brooks is a modern Martin Luther King. If you listen to his words and you listen to him and you listen to what he talks and you read about his story.
I'm glad you reached out. I did not. I thought about it, but
That's okay. Yeah, I knew one of us was going to, or it would have been fine if both of us, and we haven't talked, unfortunately, because that's how prepared we get. You and I. We usually talk a lot. But
you've been sick, so I've been letting you go a little bit.
Appreciate that. But anyways, he did reach back out. I'm going to do more research on him. It's Project Hood. I don't mind even saying it because
we
I
talked
believe
about
in it. And so Project Hood, look it up. Donate.
I think
it's worth it.
I think I'm gonna, because I've been talking to my wife about it, and she likes the idea because it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea, and his message isn't just it's South Side Chicago, and that's his home. That's his home base. That's where he wants to kind of and there's a lot of crime. There's a lot to do there, but the message is worldwide. Honestly. The message will apply to every major city across the country for sure.
To CNN,
so
MSNBC.
Oh yeah,
and search for his name.
Search.
So
yep, exactly.
If you find it, it's going to be like on the 5th or 6th page.
Fox is the only one who's reporting on it. Fox News. I'm not always a big proponent of Fox News because they have some, although they're getting better. And I'm a huge Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham and Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld. There's a million people I like. And Bill Hammer. I like all these people. But,
Greg Gutfeld can't be conservative. He can't.
Yeah, I know, right?
Something's wrong. You lie.
Yeah. I know. It's true. Greg Gutfeld. Anyways, what
we digress.
Do you have more to talk about?
The only thing on the press conference is I wanted to point out, and I'm not sitting here saying that what Fox News pointed out, what Clay Sexton, what Buck Sexton and Clay Travis said, and the Republican senators and congressmen, all that stuff, and then what CNN said. The whole point of the matter is the the Fox side got into the meat and potatoes of what he said, but what actually happened, what he was doing, what wasn't doing. You go onto the CNN side, and honestly, guys, if you go out there, there's more articles on Donald Trump than there is on the inflation, than there is on anything. And it's like, no, guys, he's living in the Democrats' head rent-free. And they can't let it go because that's what they want to do. They want to still say, well, this is what's going to happen. That Trump's coming.
Well, geez, that was most of Biden's speech. That and the pandemic is created everything. COVID's everything.
Nothing was ever Obama's fault until after he got out of Congress or after he got out of office. And then the positive things Donald Trump did. Oh, well, that was because of my policy.
Of Obama.
What?
Exactly. Yeah, so exactly. It's the same old song and dance,
but it's just funny. If for the listeners out there, if you ever want, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that everything Fox News had in there, is down to right where it goes. Even though that's where I lean. Sure, but it's just, I mean, you would have thought literally, we should be farting and it should be smelling roses by now, and it's not. So it's like, well, it's still Trump's fault. It's this mecca that they want to create, that they think they're going to create. And I'm sure the people of Venezuela thought it was going to be mecca too when they voted to have socialism.
Oh, that's right. Well, welcome to Bidenzuela. I mean, that's exactly what we're heading.
Oh my God. But that's all I wanted to touch on because I don't, most everybody, you went into that, you probably saw it, you probably saw your clips on it, but all I'm doing is I'm reaching out because it's funny. It's funny when something like this happens because you look at the stories, you look at what's out there, and CNN and MSNBC, they have more stories on Donald Trump and what he's doing now. And whenever there's a person who supports Donald Trump, for instance, Ron DeSantis, I know you don't want to lose him as governor, but I would love to see him as president of the United States.
I'd rather him take over the country.
It's not Ron DeSantis, Republican from Florida. It's Ron DeSantis, supporter of Trump.
Trump supporter.
And Youngkin, you don't have that because Youngkin didn't really reach out to Donald Trump. He wanted to separate himself. But that doesn't mean he didn't like some of the things Donald Trump did.
Correct. Correct. He just wanted to be his own man in his own words to speak for him.
To me, this is negligence. This is bad. This is not the oath that they took as journalists when they came in.
It's going to be resolved, Jim. It's going to be resolved because they, like we said, they are hiring staff to make sure that there's not misinformation coming out of CNN. CNN.
Is it the same staff that Facebook and Twitter hire?
I believe it might be the same staff that those two idiots hire. I truly believe that's the same staff. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We do research for stories, or we do research to find little
and it's actually
data
fun.
points.
It's been very fun doing it. Look,
it's fun to do. It's hard to
if
find.
I would not have researched Black Lives Matter the way that we did, I don't know if I would have come across Pastor Corey Brooks. I don't believe I would have done that.
Which is weird because you might have, and you might have seen it on something on Fox News, but it might not have even just stuck with you.
But I encourage
down a little deeper, allowed you
not
to
go back again. But all the viewers out there, please go. It doesn't take long. You can do it on your phone. Research the guy, research it, and do what Dale did. Send an email to him saying, "Hey, we stand behind you. This is great. This is fantastic." And because that's how change is going to happen when we all work together for the same thing.
Exactly.
Exactly. And understand that conservatism is not racism. Conservatism about everybody being successful, but you have to try. And we'll have these programs. Look, no one's getting rid of welfare. No one's getting rid of food stamps, but you can't make it a career. It's the ongoing adage. Democrat policies are handouts. Republican policies are hand-ups.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's bottom. That's all you need to know.
Fish.
Handouts with hand-up.
Teach a man to fish.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. So, anyways, do you want to get into the most ridiculous, which I didn't mention at the beginning of the show, the most ridiculous top 5 list we will ever.
Okay, we can do that. But can I talk about Leah Thomas real quick?
Okay, because I got something to talk about, Leah.
All I want to do is look. Yeah.
So Leah Thomas, our friend Leah Thomas.
She is the Penn swimmer. She is. He is the Penn swimmer who is transgendering to become a woman.
He's sexist, homophobic, xenophobic.
He is dominating. He started his first 3 years in the men's. Anyway, first 3 years, it didn't seem like he was breaking as many records then. All of a sudden, because we've never heard of him. Anyway, so he decides that he's a woman. Good for him. He's going to be Times Man of the Year. Fantastic. But
fantastic.
But Dale and I, we've talked about this topic a lot. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're a he, you're she, you're she. I don't want to offend. Well, yeah, I do want to offend somebody if you're offended by that. Sorry. Okay. So
sorry. It's
if anybody listens to Dale and I over this time, okay, I don't care. We honestly don't care if that's what you want to do. But now, when you start venturing into athletics or things that could get you scholarships or money that could be taking away from an actual woman, right?
Yep,
we have that's what we're talking about here. It's like this guy should not be swimming against women. He is dominating. It is kind of funny though.
He's the
one race he did lose. He lost to a woman that's transgender to be a man.
That was my next thing. I was going to say he lost a race to a woman.
Yeah.
Well, no, to another transgender from Yale,
folks. I want to tell you, and this is my prediction in the next 20 years. Write this down because this is the truth. We are going to have an Olympic game separate from the Olympic Games, and it's going to be the trans game, because the Olympics itself is going to become the trans game.
Interesting. The trans world games, maybe.
And it's coming, folks, because now all I want to point out,
some money made.
The pressure that the NCAA was getting from this brave, courageous man. I'm sorry.
They were getting pressure from him or the fans or the people?
Parents of some of the swimmers on the swim team, things like that. Or eventually the Olympic team to get to there. But the NCAA did a move that initially when I heard about the move, I'm thinking, you cowards. The woke movement strikes again. Yep. No, that's not what they did.
Of course.
They're letting each body of each sport, decide how they want to handle the transgender. Okay. So it's not happened yet, but I guarantee you it's right around the corner where a female or a male is going to want to be female playing in women's basketball. It's coming. Okay.
Or softball.
It's coming, but it's not here yet. So we're talking about swimming, and that's all we're talking about. So the NCAA has changed it. Okay. And I'm going to read this and I'll get into my opinion on this as we go. The new NCAA policy means swimming athletes will be governed by the USA swimming policies, which follow the International Olympic Committee. The IOC's rules state trans female athletes must demonstrate a total testosterone level in serum below 10, NMOL-L, I don't know, for at least 12 consecutive months prior to competition and must remain below that threshold throughout the period of desired eligibility to compete as a female category in the event. Now, you can't tell me this dude is not testing testosterone. He probably has 3 times the testosterone that we have. And I'm not transgendering. Okay?
No doubt. I mean, that is it's a dude.
Okay.
Right.
So okay. I think I might be able to live with that because I've always said since day one that if I am not going to call you a female until you are a true blood female. Okay, let me rephrase that because that's until you are a female. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people disagree on that. If you're a man and switch to a woman and get rid of your parts and get all the other stuff and get estrogen and you test whatever. I'm not going to argue with that point because I don't care, to be honest with you. However, you shouldn't be competing against women in sports. Look, I go out and play basketball. I get my ass kicked by a college basketball team. I wouldn't score a point. Okay. I'm not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the men at their best level is better than the women at their best level. It just is. I'm sorry. It just is.
It just is.
And
but let me ask you a question. So you're okay with the testing as long as it's below 10, whatever that is. I don't even know what that is yet.
Because that means they're a woman. Well, in retrospect.
No.
Well, he can't have that thing hanging down because it could work as a freaking
Wait a second. Like a propeller or like a fin? What? I'm not. I don't care what they see. This is going to get me in trouble. You bring these stories up so I can get my ass chewed out by people. It doesn't. What's the definition of woman? What is the definition of female? What is the definition of? I mean, is it? You can't say the definition of woman is somebody who can reproduce, because there are women that, unfortunately, for health reasons, can't. Right? So, are they not a woman? No, of course not. But do they have the parts, the original hardware? Let's say, yes. Is that what a female or a woman is? So, of course, that's right.
And let's say somebody goes through the changes, goes through the estrogens. They get the boob job. They get all that. Okay,
that's one part.
Then they hollow out the penis, shove it back inside. I have no freaking idea. But anyway, bear with me. I don't know if you take one of those drills. I don't know what they do. I'm going to get in trouble now, too. So you stuff it back inside.
What they do.
You glue it or staple it, whatever the hell you do.
I think you glue it. I think you do it.
Are they now a woman?
No. You know. I mean, DNA. We're talking deeper here. You can't just glue your wiener inside you like you want to do and become a woman. It's DNA. It's science, people. We're talking science.
The look on your face was
no. It's not a woman. And if you take the uterus and you pull it out and shape it in like Play-Doh into a wiener, it's not a guy. And I'm not bashing transgenders. You get me in these positions where it looks like I'm bashing the shit out. You can be transgender. Just don't call yourself anything but.
And also, the whole don't compete in sports. I mean, and
that goes without saying. It should, but
because what was your comment about the Jeopardy contestant?
Here I go. I've watched.
You know, you don't have to say it.
Still winning.
You don't have to say it.
That Amy Schneider is the top male-female winningest Jeopardy contestant ever. So that's how I get in trouble. Because females who want to, protest about things, you're okay with this. And that's who bothers me. The Me Too people. Okay?
But I do like what
get my ass in trouble every time on this transgender. I wasn't going to bring up transgenders once today. Not once. Now you're making me. I can't stop talking about them now.
I do like how some Olympic swimmers are coming out and they're saying that it's competition. I mean, come on, you got to keep it on a level playing field.
There's got to be a level play. Not. I mean, and then some people will bitch about, well, yeah, but you have this, you have your Greg Louganis's or your whoever, they're so much above the other. Well, yeah, but they're still the same gender. They're still the same sex.
Yeah, I guarantee you the Now movement and the Me Too movement, they don't want to have the NBA team, the NBA WNBA consisting of all transgender. They're not going to want
way
that because what's happening?
No
Men
way.
are making money, right? And that's what it is.
Would you watch the WNBA if just one team was all transgender? I mean, would you at least tune in to see the destruction?
If I said
not?
yes, would that be bad? Because I probably would.
Probably watch some of that
Because
so,
I start
I don't
seeing
know.
these women with spreading their legs and dunking.
I mean, so I was always a big proponent of the baseball steroids era. Like, juice up all you. I want to see 700-foot home runs. I don't care what you do to your body.
Yeah.
You can die at 40. Entertain me while I'm alive.
Please.
So,
all right.
I mean, so maybe I'm not against the whole transgender league.
Okay, so I guess we need to now. Okay, ironically, we lead into our top 5. The most uncomfortable top 5, I think, like Dale mentioned, that we have. And this was to one of our loyal listeners. Okay. She gave us hers. And what?
We reviewed that.
We read it over.
Mm-hmm. We read it back then.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember. That was like 3
remember,
shows ago.
She threatened she'll never listen to us again if we didn't.
I know. I do remember.
So we thought, and Dale and I thought this would be fun, that to get into what we consider our top 5 cutest male actors.
Yeah,
male,
that's correct,
folks. That's male. Correct. Okay.
Top 5 cutest male.
Biologically, there are no transgender on my list. Okay.
Biologically, although a transgender female did just win like a Golden Globe or something, didn't she? For like best female actress.
Yeah.
Prove it again.
You didn't have to say it, but you did. So
prove it again.
Okay, so but I do want to. We had another listener who. Well,
we did.
We got lots of them. We're starting to get the top 5s, and folks, when we go over our email address or Twitter account and Facebook,
which we will.
Please send it because we will read it, and because we actually enjoy it.
We enjoy it.
So, Larry sent us his top 5. Can I say what Larry is?
Yeah.
Don't.
He's not transgender,
but he is he is a Raiders fan though. So that was kind of fun. But anyway,
transgender.
He and I are fairly close. When we were younger, we shared a bed. Anyway, so he's my big brother. So anyway. His top 5, you will like some of these. His
what is
female?
His top 5?
No,
is this
top 5.
Males?
He's not going to touch. He's not touching that with a 10-foot pole. But top 5 female singers. Okay, so his is number 5 is Pat Benatar, which matches what? Yep. That
was my number 5.
Number 4 was Whitney Houston, which you really can't argue.
You can't deny. I can't.
This one surprised me a bit. And you mentioned her
because you know him?
Reba McEntire. Yeah,
totally.
But I would from him that surprised me.
Okay.
Number 2 was Debbie Gibson. So it was my number 4.
Come on.
So I mean 80s. Come on, you got it. She was Taylor Swift before Taylor Swift was anyway. Now, here's the number 1 that I completely disagree on because I flat out don't like to hear her sing, but other people do. Stevie Nicks. Yeah.
See, I am twofold on that. One, I think she's kind of a cool chick. I mean, I think her whole vibe was cool, so that doesn't bother me. I didn't hate her voice. Don't get me wrong. She wouldn't have made my top 5 ever. But I kind of think of her in Fleetwood Mac and not as solo. But she can be solo because she's had solo albums.
I don't agree. The other one's okay, but that one I don't agree with. It's just like if somebody put that Adele on there. I would not. I can't. I just can't listen to it. Adele.
I got completely, absolutely, almost, this person was so pissed off almost. Truly, I believe. And it was my dad, beloved father
Yeah.
of all people, who said that we was very upset that neither of us, you included, Mr. Jimmy, did not have Karen Carpenter on that list. Beautiful voice, hell of an appetite.
Really?
Yeah. Too soon? Is that too soon? No way is that too soon. It was like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? She unfortunately passed away of anorexia. That is not funny. I'm not making fun of eating disorders. I am, but I'm not.
You realize you're doing this to yourself. I am not doing
Listen. I believe I got the vapors. I got the it's getting a little. I got me the vapors.
Because we're getting ready to do our list.
Yeah, but anyway, so he was very, very upset with that, and rightfully so. She had a beautiful voice. I don't disagree with it. But was Karen Carpenter a solo artist, or was she in the Carpenters, which was a band?
Yeah. Now,
I could not explain that to my father.
However, is still making money off the sister, though. I mean, he's still. Oh, yeah.
He's alive.
I believe so. He's.
Well, of course, he's making money. It's not his fault. She couldn't.
It's just like I think Nirvana is still playing some music without hole in the head. Anyway,
too soon. That is too soon.
I mean, I'm sorry. I hated Nirvana. Hated them. Oh, that what? No, it was the. Forget it. Let's move on because I.
You don't like any grunge. You're not a grunge guy.
Eddie Vedder. I like Eddie Vedder.
Okay. Well, okay. I mean, it's similar.
If I could. Okay, that is what he sounds like. Kurt Cobain. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty good impression, wasn't it?
Yeah, the only thing missing is the hole in your head.
I can do that next week. Okay.
If you could. We appreciate it.
So, you're number 5.
I got to go first.
I think that's how we're doing. We switch next.
Top 5 cutest. What is our next top?
I don't know if we've ever really. I know I brought up some of the things I wanted to do, but you didn't want to do it. Top 5 books and stuff like that. So
I don't know any.
All right, so maybe you want to do the top 5 TV theme songs. You want to do that?
Top 5.
I think
TV
that'll be fun.
Songs. Top 5.
Yeah,
TV.
It can be comedy, can be drama, but it has to be TV.
Oh, okay. Could be. You're right. I'm thinking could be drama. Top 5 TV theme songs. I like it.
Yeah,
that's a hard one. There's a lot of it. So, okay, on to the most, and I'm sure your list will have stats. Because you're a stat guy. Okay. No stats on mine.
Okay.
No stats. Top 5 cutest male actors. Now, what do you consider cute? Attractive? I mean, cute is kind of like, yeah.
If I like their movies, and I think, God, how many women could I have if I looked like him? Yeah, that's
kind of where it goes, right? So, I mean, because like you're cute but not attractive. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a difference, right? So I'm thinking if. Anyways,
yeah, I don't get turned on by these guys. Well, maybe one of them, but
I bet you do. Number 5. This might surprise you. I mean, I don't know if you'll venture a guess at anybody on my list. You might, but number 5, Mr. Denzel Washington. That is one handsome man right there. Well spoken. I'm not going to go into details of why I am picking these people. I'm just telling you.
Honorable mention.
He's a. He was? Wow, good. So Denzel Washington. Number 4, Ryan Reynolds.
He's on my list.
Now, oh my God, I just think he's cool as hell too. I mean, I just like his comedy, his persona. I think
his
he's
abs
cool as hell.
Are just absolutely phenomenal. Anyway,
in the Deadpool movies, or in Free Guy, or in which movie? Back when he was on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Show. Great show. Awesome.
That's all that goes. That's all.
Look it up.
People even
Two
know
Guys,
about him.
a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Girl
Look it up.
Pizza Place. Yeah, funny show. My number 3 is Mr. Bradley Cooper.
On my list.
What? Maybe my list sucks. Bradley Cooper,
yes,
good looking dude, man. I mean,
his
good looking dude, and I
his
like his
ass.
I think I do like his acting.
Is just, oh my god, it is just. Anyway,
my number 2 is Ryan Gosling. Not on your list.
No.
I guarantee you, Ryan Gosling
I think he
didn't
looks
make
like
your
a
list.
goose, actually.
A goose.
Oh no,
funny
hey,
man. I mean, I think
say
he's
he
great
wasn't funny
as an actor. I think he's a good actor.
I
think he's
agree.
underrated as an actor. I think he's funny. My number 1, and I'm sorry I'm rushing through this, but it is relatively an uncomfortable thing to do. My number 1. All right. Mr. Matthew McConaughey. Number 1, brother.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Great.
Yeah.
No. You see him driving around in Lincolns?
He can't hold my number 1's jock straps.
Oh, bullcrap. Matthew McConaughey. Cool.
I do.
Dude.
Yes.
Great actor.
I do like him. Yep.
Good movie. Good movies. Underrated. Maybe not underrated after, his Oscar, but good dude. Number 1, Matthew McConaughey. There's no argument with that. I don't care what your list shows.
Okay.
Me. So I am ready for your list, Jim. Disarmo of the 5 top who you think are the cutest, hottest males alive.
Okay. I went out and I also looked at some Ranker top, and I looked at a few others.
Ranker?
What's that Ranker that we had when I did the
I thought that was
sitcom
or something. You were looking at
and stuff. And there was some others, like a list of challenges of all time and stuff. So mine actually have numbers to it. So anyway, my number 5.
Why would you go that far?
I want to make this fun. All right. So we go to number 5. My number 5 is the one and only Gerard Butler. 300. I mean, come on.
Okay. Yeah, I get that, but then, I mean, he looks just kind of.
I don't know. There's just something about him, that rugged, that rugged,
he's a man's
manly.
You feel his arms around you.
Okay. So my number 5 is Gerard Butler. However, he was ranked
for you
on one list 28. Yeah, and another
Gerard
list
Butler.
17. So he is in the movie that my wife, she just makes funny. If it's on, I watch it. Law Abiding Citizen. I love that movie. They were both fantastic in that movie, and so that was my favorite movie that he's in. He's been in others. He's been in some other ones. Greenland is pretty good if you haven't seen that. All right, my number 4 is Thor, Christopher Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
He's.
I don't blame you on that one.
Yeah,
and he's great. I think the dude's funny.
I don't know if anyone's seen him in it. Did you see him in the Ghostbusters with the women? Oh no, I didn't. God, he is hilarious with Melissa McCarthy and Catherine Wigg.
I saw him in the Vacation with.
He was good in that too. Ed Helms doing the Rusty.
God.
But he was.
Oh my God, it was great.
He was very. Now, obviously, the movies that we like are his, the Thor movies and stuff like that he was in.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big part in Ghostbusters, but he was. He's funny. I mean, it was good. But on the one ranker, he was ranked 32nd. Well,
I think that's too low.
The other one was number 4. He was number 4.
Good call.
Okay.
Which is your number 4, so it matches your ranking.
Number 3,
very good,
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. Okay. That was on this. We had him ranked the same.
Yeah, I know. We had him. Him ranked the same, and we don't talk about the list. We hear about it.
I do not talk about.
We hear about it when we come up. So he was number 19 and number 7 on those two different lists. So,
okay.
Now my number 2 is going to be the controversial one. I know it. But I don't care.
Really?
If he is in something, I watch it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hugh Jackman.
No, not controversial to me at all.
He does have he does lean a little left, but who doesn't, right? So, but
they all probably do. I mean, maybe Denzel and Matthew McConaughey are more centric.
Obviously the movie. What I like about Hugh Jackman, and if we go, it's not just the looks or anything else like that, but the guy has range. I mean, he can win Tony Awards. He can win Emmy Awards. He can win Oscar.
It's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I don't care if anybody knows that. Yeah. It's a fantastic
I definitely
movie.
tell you what, because if you can't listen to that soundtrack and just want to keep listening to it, because it is great. It is fabulous.
Now, I also heard, believe it or not, that
Les Mis.
Yep. Is that Les Mis? Is that how it said? I heard that's great too.
You don't want to hear,
but
the other guy, he's in it. I can't. Yeah, you don't want to hear him sing. But
I can't believe they did. Actually,
hey, look, Pierce Brosnan sang in the
True,
the ABBA, Mamma Mia,
Mamma Mia. I don't even know why I know that.
But Hugh Jackman was ranked 12th and 8. Okay, but obviously
he's a huge.
Yeah, obviously the Wolverine and stuff is what he's mostly.
Yeah,
and my number one that but my number one is actually Ryan Reynolds.
I do.
And
okay.
And I tell you what, if you haven't seen Deadpool, you gotta watch
one or either one.
His comedy, any show he's in, because whether it's the Hitman's Bodyguard or the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard or anything like that, his personality, his persona just comes out. And it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Proposal, my wife loved that with him and Sandra Bullock. It was, it's like this guy. Yeah. My favorite one that he ever did was Just Friends with Smart. I can't remember Amy Smart. He played this. Yeah, he
Just
played, when he was in high school with Amy Smart. He was this big, nerdy looking guy. Fell in love with her, and then he comes back with this, skinny, makes a lot of money. Yeah. And he just everything he tries to do goes wrong. But if you've watched that movie, the hockey scene on ice when he's playing against these kids,
it's amazing.
So everything he does, the persona comes out, and it's just it's phenomenal.
Gee, Jim, your number one was Canadian.
And I had a couple Australian in there too.
Yeah, but he's Canadian.
You know what? I only had one American in my list.
You did, didn't you? That was Bradley Cooper.
I had a couple Aussies. I think I had 3 Aussies, actually, and then one American.
Yep.
And
Wow. You kind of like the foreign men, it sounds like, Jim.
I lean more towards the foreign men. I do.
You do. Anyways, hey, listen, I can't quite. Who were your honorable mentions?
Actually, I should have had him in my top 5 only because he plays 2 of my favorite characters ever. Legolas.
Yeah.
Legolas.
Who?
Orlando Bloom. He was Legolas in Lord of the Rings. He was.
Again, like, honest to God, you think I know that shit?
And he was. Okay, he played Will Turner.
Orlando Bloom. I don't even know who. Will Turner.
You had to have seen that.
Will Turner.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Nope.
Oh my God! Two of my favorite characters in a series of he does great, and plus, who he's with. You know who had his baby? I think they're married. My number one female singer. Yeah.
Katy
so
Perry?
he should have been on my list. Just a simple fact that he got Katy Perry.
Yeah, he probably got just a little though.
But he only got it in a little. But that's all it takes.
Got it really little.
All it takes.
All it took.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
I like Channing Tatum. 21 and 22 Jump Street are just fantastic.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
My name's Chad.
I'll be honest with you. The reason why he did not get into my top 5 is because he was in one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life. And our women listeners out there probably would not agree with me, but Magic Mike was absolutely. And I went to it with my wife.
I've seen it.
Okay, because she wanted to go. And, oh my God.
So?
You sit there and you talk about literally 2.5 or 2 hours. You literally will never get it back. It was a horrible movie. The leading lady was the worst. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. I
don't even know, other than they're male strippers. I have no idea what that movie's about.
It's terrible. I mean, it's horrible. But I did have Denzel, and then that Michael B. Jordan. I had him on a.
Was it Matthew McConaughey?
Yes,
in Magic Mike.
And so is that Joe Rigga.
That's right.
Well, you're gonna make fun of me on this one, but you know that Joe Magnola, Joe married to the girl in one of your top 5 sitcoms. Al Bundy is in it. Modern Family. He's married. He's married.
Yeah,
I think it's Joe Magnola.
Yeah.
He's in that show. Well, when they're interviewing this guy, I hate the fact that I know this, and you're gonna make fun of me the whole time. But when they're interviewing him, there's this tube by his head. And so you're like, what the heck is going on? And then you keep hearing this suction sound. And then after a couple of seconds, you start seeing this penis come in the tube. He's going up before he goes on stage. He uses the stretcher to. What? I mean, the look on the guy's face, because as he's talking to being interviewed, he's like looking over that way, like, what the hell is that?
What? This was in that
Magic.
This is in Magic. That's probably your favorite part of the whole movie, wasn't it?
It was a terrible movie. But come on, you're sitting there, you hear this because you're watching this, you're like going, "What the hell is that? What's that noise?" And all of a sudden, it just inch. It was really.
Oh my God!
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna trust you. I to see it. I now can trust you. I don't have to watch it. Oh my God!
Trust me, there were other guys there, and we were all with our wives because we were hoping something was going to happen that night. That's all I got to say.
I know. Yeah, you're right. It's like letting them go to Chippendales.
It's just like
show, right?
I used to work with this guy that, I can't believe all these people that their wives go to the strip clubs because, when they come home, they're not thinking of you. I don't give a shit. I don't care who they're thinking about. I'm reaping the benefit. I can be a different guy every night, and I don't. Who knows? I might be a different guy every.
Jim, you are anybody but you.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Come on.
All right. That's what I'm saying.
She's going to kill me, right?
She will. This will be Jim's last show. I'm looking for another co-host. If anybody wants to apply.
This has been a fun show. But those are our top 5. That was.
So you want to do top 5 top?
I think
TV
so. I think that'll
songs.
be fun for people out there to.
You think so? It's probably hard to go. I thought we'd bring it. Try to get some of our masculinity back, and maybe do some top 5.
Oh no,
but no. Let's do. No, we'll save that
one.
We'll
I do want to do top 5 female actresses. Yes.
Yeah. Let's just do top. We'll do the theme songs. TV theme songs next.
And it can be
episode.
It can be anything
next week.
Right. It can be comedy. Yeah. TV.
Just TV.
It can be anything from that. So.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah. Good. Well, great list. I hope our listener is quite happy that we just went through that nonsense. I don't think it's too controversial. Some good-looking guys.
Great abs.
You and I could have made the list if we acted.
If I honestly, and I tell people this all the time, if I would do lather up with lotion and do about 10 sit-ups, I would have the abs that Channing Tatum and Ryan Reynolds have. It only takes a couple sit-ups to get there.
It does. Or shake weight. You can do the shake weight.
Yeah, I know.
Let's look familiar. Jim.
The most uncomfortable television commercials or ads, whatever you call those. Yeah. Yeah, we got to do one of those.
Can you do both hands? I mean, are you able to shake? There you go. I've seen that before.
Anyway.
I've seen that before. Oh my God! If you're not watching, watch on YouTube, please. Woo! Click, follow, like, share. Watch us on YouTube. All right, hey, let's get to our AOCs of the week. What do you think?
Okay,
you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
And
please. AOC of the week.
I'm so sorry. I am really going to butcher this guy's name.
What?
One of the owners. Okay, not the head guy, but one of the owners of the Golden State Warriors, Chamath Palihapitiya, Palihapitiya. One too many vowels.
Yeah, Palihapitiya.
Really?
Palihapitiya. I don't know.
Anyway.
I have no idea. He's one of the co-owner, right?
He was on a All-In podcast.
Excuse me.
And his comment, okay, if anybody who doesn't know, NBA is heavily into China. All right? We're talking billions of dollars into China.
Basketball deep into China.
The wonderful LeBron James, who has completely lost me, as a fan, completely lost me. When
he should, most people.
When he sits there and he talks about how horrible this country is, but he's in China talking about how wonderful China is when kids are making his shoes. Anyway, but this co-owner says, I don't know if you've heard about the I'm gonna screw this up again.
His name again?
The human rights abuses against the Uyghur Muslims that they're facing in China.
I wonder why you picked this story.
I thought about not doing it because there's holy shit. I can't. Steve Kerr. I can pronounce Steve Kerr. Anyway,
Steve Kerr, I just hit the thing.
Here's his comment. Nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs Muslims, okay? You bring it up because you really care. And I think it's nice that you care. The rest of us don't care. I'm just telling you a very hard, ugly truth. Of all the things that I care about, yes, it is below my line. Of all the things that I care about, it is below my line. Okay? Now, he says, that's not caring. I care about the fact that our economy can turn on a dime if China invades Taiwan. I care about climate change. I care about America's crippling and decrepit healthcare infrastructure. Why is everybody coming over here? Anyway, but if you ask me do I care about a segment of a class? But if you ask me, do I care about a segment of a class of people in another society? Not until we care about ourselves and prioritize over them. This is the owner of the Golden State Warriors, people.
This is the owner.
And what he neglected to say is all the other. Yeah. Okay, if I don't know if anybody's paying attention out there, Dale. Maybe they're not, but there's more
probably aren't
human rights violation going on over there than these Uyghur Muslims.
Yeah.
I just
I'm just guessing.
If not mistaken, wasn't it a couple months ago where the United or the National Tennis Organization said that they are not going to hold a tennis tournament in China until the Chinese tennis player who spoke out against China shows up because no one has heard from her. So, but
exactly,
he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
You know what he cares about? His millions of dollars that he gets from selling his shit product. Now you know why I'm just not a big fan of the NBA. They are so in with China. They are so, and don't just take our word for it. Look it up, guys. Look up what China is. The NBA, and I know it started with Yao Ming and stuff like that, but it has just bloomed. That they, if they compare it, because I believe dipshit James said it, that when he complains about how the African Americans are treated in this country while he's in China. It's just, to me, it's ignorance. It is so horrible.
Yep.
And and people listen to him, which is unfortunate. But anyway,
people are.
That was
people
my Schumer of the week. Have you seen?
Yep, that is
Have you seen the ratings for the NBA?
I haven't seen the numbers. I think
the only way they're going to get their numbers back up is if they have another Indiana Pacers, Detroit Pistons knockout Drake out. Yeah, that's the only way it's because this is. I can't watch it. I just flat out cannot watch it, and it has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter or anything like that. I can't watch it because these poorly treated millionaires. I just feel so sorry for them. I know, and
I don't know who people blindly follow these kind of people and don't even see the fact that they're total hypocrites.
Well,
they just follow and listen and never research or never look into anything. And they're just like, and I get it. People are like, I don't give a crap. Don't care about, I just want to be entertained. And to them, that's entertaining. They're watching. Personally, NBA doesn't really entertain me. Okay. Never really did. I say this and I don't. It's not that I hated the NBA and I don't hate basketball. I certainly hate soccer far more. Okay.
I gotta tell a quick story about basketball. Okay. I think you might remember this, but everybody out there, we have been to a few NBA basketball games. We have seen NBA games where we have seen Dwight Howard play when Dwight Howard was in his prime.
Yep.
We have seen the great Cody Zeller, who now plays for Portland, by the way. But anyway, but
I know.
He, as we talk about this, there was a game that we were at, and as we were leaving, it was a show. It was a game on TNT. So our wonderful co-host walks up to the Marv Albert. And is sitting there talking to him, saying hi, and I've got my camera ready because he wants a picture with Marv Albert. Marv Albert wasn't paying any attention to him, so my wonderful co-host says he doesn't realize this, but I'm not leaving until he gets a picture with me. So he literally, I still have it on my phone. He literally turns around as soon as Dale said that, and then I took the picture, and he was none too happy. He wasn't looking like a guy, hey, how you doing? But,
I'm like, I'm not leaving, and I will follow him until we get this picture. You know who else was with him at that time? Steve Kerr, before he became coach. He was doing the announcing on TNT with him.
That was a great great moment because it's like he doesn't realize this. I'm not leaving until I get a picture with him. He turns around. I've got the picture.
I know, it's crazy. You will have to show it. You'll have to send it to me. I'll post it up here or something. I remember that. All right, so that was funny. But we have been to a lot of games and fortunate to have front row and floor seats and all that.
Freak athletes. They are freak athletes.
They are freak athletes. They're great athletes. They're unbelievable athletes, actually. It's just not my cup of tea, And I don't like the fact that most of them are hypocrites.
Especially when I come up to their knee on most of them. That's kind of bad. Yeah, it's kind of
You
bad.
You do come up to their knee. My AOC of the week is also neither an AOC nor a Schumer. I don't know how you would place it because it's a company. And mine is DirecTV. Did you hear anything about DirecTV?
No, not
at all. So, DirecTV canceled.
Oh yeah, yes, I heard
last Friday. WAN, One American News. The day after, your president, Joe Biden,
not mine,
said, "I make a special appeal to social media companies and media outlets. Please deal with the misinformation and disinformation that's on your shows. It has to stop." That was his plea deal. The following day, DirecTV says, "OAN, you're out. We're not."
CNN and MSNBC must be in trouble.
Still there. So, not. You think they are not. Of course. The puppets are not. So, DirecTV, if you have a choice, and some of you may or may not, I'd cancel the hell out of them, and I'd get myself cable or some streaming services or Dish Network, which I don't think is any better. So don't listen to me.
Dish Network, though, on their high end, Dish Network still has Blaze TV. It's the only one that has it. So.
Why did I think they were owned by, like, I don't know, Al Jazeera's or something?
You know, if you try to go to any, I think if any of them are owned by, excuse my language, assholes. Okay, they're owned by terrible people.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I did hear about that DirecTV. But the Sunday ticket, for those of you who get DirecTV, they're losing it when their contract's over. I think next year, and you're going to. I hope so. Right, Paramount TV now. Paramount TV is streaming CBS games. So maybe now I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I know when we tried to watch the Bengals and the Browns wonderful game, that I don't know why we wanted to watch it, but every time we went out there and selected it was always the local game anyway. So I don't know how that's going to, but I do believe that the NFL is all about money, right? They smell money, they do it. So I think DirecTV will no longer be in that market because let's face it, that's the reason why people go to them. And yes,
they're going to lose a lot of
they're going to lose it. So, look, folks, I don't care if you disagree with what AON says. I don't care if you disagree. I don't care if I disagree with Rachel Maddow. I don't think she needs to be taken off the air. I think she lies more than what AON is supposedly doing.
And I think we can prove her lies. That's what you're supposed to do. She's an opinion show, so she can have her opinion, and
it just drives me nuts. I just, you know what? Be consistent, folks. I know Sean Hannity, when he lists the top 5 states where people are moving out, or top 10 states that people are moving out. Look, I get it. He referenced there were 4 red states in there, but he only talked about the 6 blue. Okay, but that's not lying. That's not misinformation. That's saying that 6 of the top 10 they're going out of there.
6% are leaving. The states.
So, look, it is what it is, and if we get into the situation where we're going to start, like Donald Trump can't be on, why? Why can't he be on Facebook? Why can't he be on Twitter?
Why can't he be on?
We talk about the insurrection. What we didn't bring it up was what wonderful Kamala Harris said about, she compared it to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor.
We did not. And I was going to listen, and I apologize if that's what I wanted to do. And I really started doing some research on this, the whole January 6th hoax. It's a rabbit hole. Trust me. That you're going to go down if you start going down that path. And there's a lot of theories out there.
Anybody who went in there forcibly needs to be punished. Absolutely needs to be punished if they forcibly.
How many people went in forcibly?
That's what I'm saying. So watch.
That's what I'm saying.
Look, you can take what it's worth, but there was individuals that reached out to our wonderful speaker. Do you want National Guard in there? No, we're okay.
Yep.
Are you going to increase the Capitol Security Police around there? Nah, we're all right.
Yep.
So we're okay. So they want to show this stuff, and folks, do you honestly think in a normal situation? Let's take the Biden administration for example. Okay. Do you think anyone's ever going to make it to Nancy Pelosi's desk?
Oh God.
No way in hell.
Nancy Pelosi barely makes it to Nancy Pelosi's desk.
We can get into that later, but it is it is a hoax
for sure.
I mean, it is completely.
It's a hoax. It's a hoax, and as soon as there's been a lot of research on it. You can watch a lot of it on TV. Even in Fox, Tucker Carlson had a great special on it. So it's out there and it's available. There's nothing new I would be able to tell you, but it really is. And listen, you can't just Google page 1 through 10. You got to go deep. And I'm telling you, and there's a lot out there. And anyway, it was a hoax. It was an insurrection, and that thing started before Trump was president.
An awful lot of people who were also shown protesting for Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Just want to let everybody know that. So
correct. Just to let everybody know that. So, Jim, that was a great show.
I had a lot of fun.
Right?
Had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun. It's been a couple of weeks, so sorry if we're a little rusty or I sound a little crappy because that's just the vid talking. So we're We appreciate you, everybody watching us and liking our videos on YouTube. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. It's super important to us. We do listen to feedback. We love hearing feedback. We love hearing your list. We love hearing what's right, what's wrong, what you like, what you don't like. If you got something you even want to say and you want to be on the podcast, absolutely. Let us know a subject. If you want to get on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the whole show. It does. If there's something to talk about, we'd be more than happy to have you on,
that would be fun because the way we have this set up, the way we do it, we send a link. Yeah, we send a link to you. You just boop, you just log in.
Pop right in, and we're talking. So it's pretty simple to do it this way. So if you do, we'd love to hear from you and love to have you on. You can reach us on our Gmail, which is still goofy. People don't really Gmail, but you can reach us on it, which is 2guys1coup at gmail.com. That's 2guys1coup at gmail.com. Facebook, you can follow us there at 2guys1coup. We got a Facebook page and a group. You're welcome to come on it, make comments, watch the videos. I post them up there as well as I do on YouTube. And, of course, on Twitter, which Jim has recently discovered we are on. So it's at 2guys1coup. That is on the Tweeter. So, and then hopefully some
give
other
us feedback. Give us feedback. We want, give us feedback. We want the feedback, and we have very big shoulders, guys. You're not going to hurt our feelings. You're not, but we want to know what you like, what you don't like. I mean, if
exactly,
because we tried to take it a little bit different, where we want to investigate a little bit more, and instead of having all these different topics we talk about, like today, those numbers today for Biden over the 1 year, those were good numbers to see. That was detail. That was information that people have out there and you can go look at. And that's all, because we don't want people after we're done talking to say, okay, why didn't they finish that? Because we get off topic quite a bit.
We don't finish a lot. And our ADHD kicks in. It's not good when you got both of us that are absolutely just like, a squirrel. I mean, that's who we are, right?
Turkey.
So,
turkey.
And and both of us are off our meds, so that's the important part. But anyways, thank you, Jim. Great show. Love the information you provide as always, and the talk and the discussion. We're going to do this again next week, and then the week after,
and we're just going to do it. We're going to do it until we get to the 100 listeners. And then we're going to have if we get to 100 listeners, we'll do our show live from Vegas.
At the beautiful Tropicana.
I don't know if we can afford that one. We might be off the.
Strip. Yeah, we're off strip. All right. Yeah. Anyways, Jim, awesome. Thank you again. Good luck to your Bengals this weekend. I'm pulling for them. I'm not a Titans fan now. If it does get down to Bengals Bills,
it's all right. Trouble there. It's okay.
There's a little trouble there, but I'm still rooting for you. But good luck. We'll talk next week. Anything else you need to say?
See you next week.
Oh, that's quick. See you. Thank you all.